Okay, we'll get going with the rest of our meeting tonight. Necessary goes over to Laura. So.
Yeah, just briefly, we had put in a request for traffic signal the intersection of Route 11 and 190. I'd written a letter to the DOT, and basically the board does have this letter in their packet, and they are conducting and evaluating a study of that intersection for a possible installation of a three-colored signal light. What they are waiting right now is the count data, which is necessary to complete their investigation. So, the engineering study is still going on, that traffic signal light.
Okay.
I wanted to also share that I received a wonderful letter about our FFA students at the National Convention. I won't read the letter, but it's very complimentary to our students who attended the convention, as well as the advisor that was there, and that they basically said our students were exemplary throughout the entire convention. And your school is to be commended for developing students with such positive character. And so that speaks very well of our FFA. I also want to talk about the Get Moving initiative. We did receive with the Get Moving, there's the Get Moving campaign, and we requested, we put in a submission, we submitted a proposal to be part of that Get Moving campaign to get students up and moving, and ours was one of the proposals that were selected. And so we're very happy that we'll be able to pursue our policy changes for nutrition. And the last thing I have is I want to just do a quick demo that our weather station's up and running. So if you get on our website, this is the home page of our website, and you go to our quick links to quick weather, and double click on that. Here you go. You're going to see updates of our the temperature, the wind, and this will help assist in making a determination if the kids do go out for recess. So this is right up on our roof, and we're very happy that we have a weather station. So if you're wondering what conditions are in Ellenburg, Depot, just get right on our website. You'll have the latest and greatest. Thank you.
Mrs. Marlowe?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, is that link just been added?
it's within the last week and a half, yes.
Oh, because I looked at the website today and I didn't see it.
No,
Do
no.
you have to have a password or something?
No, this has been on, I'd say, at least a week and a half.
Okay, I
Okay,
didn't notice
just
it.
under quick links.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Laura. Okay, our next area on our agenda is the financial section. So we're going to move to the for our warrant, what we call our schedule of expenditures, and you have 4 warrants in front of you: 14, 15, 16, and 17. So let's start with our first warrant, 14. Questions for Brian on warrant 14? Anybody? Questions for Brian? Okay. How about warrant number 15? Anybody? Okay. Warrant number 16. Questions? Brian, your lucky night, buddy. Warrant 17. How about warrant 17 for Brian? Questions? Okay, now, no questions have been proposed. Can I get a motion to accept warrants 14, 15, let me finish, 15, 16, and 17? So moved.
I'll second.
All right. I'm going to go to you this time. Motion by Mike, seconded by Rick. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you. Treasurer's report. Questions for Brian on the treasurer's report? All right, we have a motion on the floor to accept the treasury report by Ron. Second, please. So seconded. By Dan. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you for that one. Food service report. Questions for Lisa in regards to the food service report, or Brian? Lisa, any comments about food service?
We're
No.
all good.
Looking good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. No question, motion to accept. Motion by Mike, second by Ron, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained, motion carried, thank you for that one. Okay, we need to accept the tax collector's final report for Clinton and Franklin counties. If there's not any question relating to that acceptance, I need a motion for that as well. So moved. Motion by Dan, second please. Seconded by Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried, thank you. All right, reports of school board is our next area. I just need a motion to accept the CSE recommendations as they were presented to you this evening.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Rick, second. By Ron, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained, motion carried. Okay. Any questions tonight for Jim? Are you over there taking notes? Questions for Jim tonight on our custodial report?
Nothing on the report, but what was the heat problem here in the elementary school, I believe?
Last week we had a leak in the heat loop, bad solder job.
You know, I know I didn't have one question for you, Jim. Who does our internal fire extinguisher inspections? Is that done here, or does that third party come and do it?
Third party comes in once a year and we do it monthly.
All right, so they're looking for the hydro markings and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay.
The hydro test.
Yep.
Goes in every 6 years.
Yep.
And then the gasoline pump gets done every 6 months.
Okay. Any other questions for Jim? Okay. What do you gotta do there, Jim?
Okay. You might want to call up before I put
Okay, you also have in front of you this evening the Student Association balances as of October 31st, 2010. Are there any questions pertaining to that document?
What's going on with 2010?
Still got plenty.
And they did vote before school got done last year. They are looking to get some cost estimates to do some sort of a memorial plaque or something. And what we're trying to work out is how do we kind of coordinate that with the changes that are going to come in with the construction project. But they do have some very definite plans that they did vote on as to what they'll do with the funds. And as we get more information and we coordinate it with the architects, we'll be able to see how we can best utilize their monies and to go along with their wishes.
How long do we keep the money here?
Technically, as long as they have earmarked it and already said what it's going to be for, we have basically this entire school year to decide what we
Thank you. Okay, BOCES report, Laura.
Yes, I'm just going to pass around some important dates that Rosie sent. That's it. For your file.
Okay, one of our most favorite topics tonight is public comment, so look at the smiles on the face, this is gonna be a good one.
Hi, my name is Sarah Matthews Knight, and I'm one of the parent members that's on the recess committee that met last month. And it's my hopes that the suggestions that come from this committee are going to be supported by the board. I think, people on this committee, it's something that they believe in, and I think that we are working in the right direction and working for a goal that is going to be beneficial for all. But I hope that once our decision is made and presented to you, that it's something that you can agree with, because, you know, in essence, you're agreeing with the people that took time out of their schedule and tried to come up with something that works. And I think that our end goal is that, oh, I would hope that we're all on the same page, is that we're looking for something that's going to benefit all children. You know, not a select few, but what's best for all the children. And I know that as I sit on this committee, you know, I know we all have our opinions, but I think when you get with a group of people, you know, we're adults and we're professional and we're willing to work together, because in the end, it's the kids.
You know, Sarah, you make an excellent point. You know, thank you very much for your comments. You know, I'm going to be very honest with you. You know, it's all about collaboration. You know, and what you bring to us is hopefully is a product that meets the needs of the boards, and it creates a win-win not only for the people that are on the committee, but a win-win for the board and the students it represents. And that's what we're looking for, is that total win-win. You know, most definitely, we're gonna take your comments and look at them, and you know, when you come to us, hopefully we're looking at a final end product, because you know we don't want to keep sending you back, because you need to understand where we're all at. So I think in the end, it'll work out. I think we have a very good working relationship, and where we're going. So you know, we're looking forward to seeing that end product. So.
And I have one last thing.
Go ahead.
I don't know if it's me, but there are times when there are board members that are speaking that I'm having a very hard time hearing. So I don't know if it's possible for the next board meeting, if there's microphones, or if I don't know if it's only me in the audience, but I'm having a very hard time hearing some of the comments that are being made. And I think if there was a sound system, it would be beneficial for the people in the audience.
Does everybody else have that same?
When something runs,
There's a lot of background noise that's going on, and it's hard when you're trying to listen. Like tonight, there was something outside, I don't know, like a sweeping sound, and then you've got that running, and it's just hard to hear everything.
The concern, Jim, is between the cleaning of the floors, the noise, and the different equipment, that it's hard. Like right now, it's good, but or either have that, cut that stuff, or cleaning the sound. Oh, yes, in the project, yes.
It's going to be down in
We do, we can bring one in. Yeah, it would be right in the.
Thank you.
Thanks for your comment.
The question here was, in the building project, where is the conference? Actually, in the district office, business office area, the conference room will be large enough to hold a board meeting with 25 in the audience, which is our typical number. I think you'll find the acoustics in there much better, definitely. But thank you very much. We want people to be able to hear absolutely.
Ending comment though, we'd rather see this whole operation go in the auditorium where we're talking to 200 people, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to get a true partnership in this community, we should be moving out of this room and moving into a larger room. And that's the way it should be. So you need to pass the word that, you know, these meetings are not, I mean, it used to go to 1 o'clock in the morning, believe me, I've been there. But, you know, we've
It's not that bad.
We've got them streamlined, and you know we're doing the right things and conducting our meetings. So we can pass the word that the community needs to get involved with the school, and this is one of the ways you get involved with your school. You have these school board meetings. So we'd love to see more of you, really, truly. Anybody else? Public comment? Yes.
Going along with what Sarah was talking about.
Can I have your name first, please?
Claire Ostley Lambert from Altona.
Thank you.
My original question, my children have been coming here for a couple of years. I have a 6th grader and I also have a 2nd grader. Recess was implemented last year, and I guess my question is, we've got all these years without the recess. Where did it come about? I know Ms. Silver was given a directive to come up with a recess program, but where did it come from? Why suddenly are we discussing recess when we've never had it before? We had never heard anything about it.
You want me to
Does
take that one?
anybody?
Take it. Go ahead, yeah.
If you read any literature, if you read the Healthy Kids, the Obesity of Children, We are probably the only school district in the North Country that did not have recess, and it's highly recommended. It was a concern of the board. It was a concern echoed by parents to the board, and that is why we decided to implement recess.
That was my question,
Yeah,
was,
we
you know,
are the only school district, elementary that is.
Right.
In the North Country, and I'm not even gonna speak, that did not have a recess program. It's a very good program for kids.
I understand that and appreciate it. My concern is we have one of the shortest school days as well. But the state mandates are getting tougher. You know, the teachers have less contact time in the classroom. You know, is it something that we would have an opinion on? You know, as far as I'm concerned, I would like to abolish it, get rid of it. There's many reasons, but that's, you know, we're losing a lot of contact time in the classroom,
Well,
and that's
I
my
do-
big concern.
And I do appreciate your concern about the academic piece, but as much as New York State Ed Department is pushing the higher standards, they're also very much pushing for healthy students, the healthy school initiatives, the childhood obesity, and the well-rounded student. And so I believe that we can successfully be able to do both. And our test scores this year with recess were just as good. It's making effective use of time. It's very difficult for kids. Kids need a break, just like staff needs a break and to be able to unwind. Students learn many socialization skills on the playground, and how to get along, team play, structuring free time. These are all very important things. And while they may not be directed toward that ELA test, studies have also shown that kids do better in their assessments when they have had time to have that free play. And we're talking 20 minutes of the school day.
Yeah, but it's a midday, and that's a concern, you know, with timing and, you know, prep time, and, you know, it's 20 minutes, but it may lead to a half an hour or longer. I'm just afraid of the long-term effects on the students that are losing it to 100 minutes a week, you know, year after year after year. And, you know, as far as in my household, that's something they get at home.
And as passionately as you're speaking to that, we've had many, many parents, a very, very positive reception of people that are very in support of the recess program. So it's a philosophical, but the board did decide to go ahead and make recess part of the school day. And we always are looking at our data. We are always looking at testing. And so far, we haven't seen that recess has caused any problems in the area of testing or downward scores, but we'll be looking. And we look, anytime we do testing, we look to see at all factors. So thank you for your comment.
Yeah, good comment, thank you. Anybody else in the audience tonight? Yeah.
Paul Gilmore. When you're passing the warrants, what are the warrants? 15, 16, 17, what are those?
It's a good question, Paul. You know, the warrants are basically, you know, what expenditures have taken place, checks mainly, that are written. You know, so that it's like a check and balance on our financial structure.
I
You
know
know,
last meeting, there was quite a few questions on different warrants, like buses that went out on field trips and stuff.
yeah, you know, like for some warrants, Paul, like I think it was a warrant 16 was a referee pay. You know, those are very simple in their nature, and those don't take long to go through. But you know, this board is very good. It's very good. This board is very good about going through each item, line item, and you know, if there's an item that just does not look right, we challenge it. And you know, and I got to give kudos to Brian because what we challenge, he always has an answer for us. And if not, he says, you know, I don't know that. He's very honest about it. I'll get back to you. So you know, basically the warrants is a check and balance system on how we spend the money, and making sure that what's sent out is also what's documented from the overall general ledger.
So while you're
Brian, you want to
passing
say more
those-
about that? Go
While
ahead.
you're doing those, we're sitting out here having no clue what you're talking about.
Okay.
That's what I guess
And the
what I-
reason on that is, and this is again, warrants for any school district that go to the board, because they're not approved warrants, they can't go to the general, they're not for general distribution.
Something
Once
that could
the
be
board-
done in executive session?
No,
No,
once
that's
the
the
board, once the board approves the warrants and saying, yes, the expenditures are fine, and generally, the questions that the board has about warrants is they may not recognize a vendor, because it's all the expenses of the district. Once those, then, those are for, they could be viewed by the public, they're not, go ahead, I'll let the business officials talk.
Well, they
Further on that.
are a
Public document.
public document, they are foilable. If if you're looking for that information, it can be, but as the superintendent said, it's not something, because they haven't been approved yet, we can't give them to you in your agenda. And I realize it may seem difficult to sit there and not necessarily be able to follow the dialogue or the questions, but that is not only the board's responsibility, but also the district utilizes a claims auditor who also goes through every expenditure of the district, and prior to the expenditures actually being made, to review them for accuracy and completeness as well.
I mean, Paul, that's an excellent question. I mean, we had the same question come up at last month's meeting at one of our agenda items that has to be approved by the board, and we had a nice conversation with the gentleman after the meeting was adjourned. He says, why can't I have the entire board packet that you have? I said, well, number one, I said, most of that board packet needs to be approved in this type of general parliamentary session, and then once it comes to an approval state, then, like you say, it's foilable, meaning that the public has a right to see it. But we can't get to that state yet until we've gone through our legal procedure of going through the motion, explaining what it is, and whatnot. So good question. Yeah, good question.
Maybe I might add, we as board members have had to take a whole day, state mandated, of financial responsibilities of what we have to look for and do. And it's 5 different sections that we have training on to make sure that everything is spent the way it should be.
Oh, I'm not questioning that.
No,
That's
I
not
Yeah.
my question at all. My question was, what was it?
Yeah.
I'm confused on what you were asking. That's all. I wasn't questioning your.
No, I know that, but I just totally throwing that information out,
So you can stop by the district office, you want to, say, I'd like to look at the
Warrant
tax
16,
warrants.
15, warrant 16.
Yeah, come right on in and,
Yep,
All right, now I know.
yeah.
yep. I saw another hand up, I think.
Yes, Joey Labarge, Altona. I was just wondering, there was a presentation given at 5 o'clock, I believe, on the trip that.
Yes.
Is that gonna be accessible at 5 o'clock? I can't make it here. And if I'm interested in that information, is that gonna be posted on the website? Is that available for people to know what happened, what was?
Well, the good part is, as Joey said, it is tough, times, you've got sports parents, early parent, people can make it earlier. But what Joey mentioned in his update of the various workshops he attended and the other board members who attended, that if you actually get on the New York State School Boards Association website, NISBA, they actually have
Every single
every
presentation
single presentation
that was given.
that was given on that website.
Yeah.
So basically, what the board members that attended did was give a synopsis of those presentations.
I guess my question is it worth sending people down on taxpayers' money for this weekend? That's my question.
Yeah,
Did you gather information that was, going to help the school?
Yeah.
Is this something that's beneficial? And what did you get out of it that can be passed on to the parents that could be I think it's good that you went and you can give us that information and what you think it pertains to this school.
You know what, it's one of my opening remarks at our 5 o'clock session is, why it is so important that we send an entire board down to our, this is our regional, it's New York State's what it is, all New York State sections go to this training, and for the most part, you have some new school board members on this committee, and they talk about everything under the sun, and we make it very, very clear to the board members that, this is not a joyride. You know, and this is not a trip where you go down to New York City and you spend your day street shopping and you spend your nights going to watching musicals. We get together as a group, we sit down, we look at the agenda items, and we pick the ones that are most beneficial, not only to us as a learning subject, but also what's beneficial to the community, the teachers, our administrators, the principals as well. You know, and it's a knowledge share. It's a complete knowledge share, and you know, it's getting tougher and tougher and tougher to be a school board member. It truly is. The amount of training that's going to be required just of a new school board member is amazing. You not only have the financial training now, but now you're going to go through ethics training as well, which I'm fine with it. I think it's wonderful. But you know, it's something that's changing. It's changing quickly. But you know, the New York State Ed Department, they send you. They say, hey, look, get up to speed on Race to the Top. You know, that's about teacher evaluations and what's changing and all that. So, you know, I can stay here for an hour and explain to you why it's important.
Right, but like at where I work, if I go for a conference, I'm expected to do a trip report. So I give a report of what I gained out of this, and I have to bring it back and just show everybody, okay, this is what I got, this are the materials that I have. That's just part of the job. So that's what I'm looking for. Is that something?
And they did do that at Clyde, and I'm sorry you weren't
And
able
is that
to make
something that's going to be posted? Is there, is that just a question? Is that
No, it's a good
something
question. We
available?
probably wouldn't post something like that, but you know what? I have extra copies of what I presented to the meeting. I'm more than happy to give it to you, so you understand, what some of the conversations about and what we talked about.
Another point he makes is with the continuing education, it's just to be a board member now, part of your race to the top, the state doesn't feel we're qualified enough to handle your school district. They want to take over control. If they do, you lose your voice in how your school is operating. Race to the top is another power grab by the government saying that school board members as everyday people don't have enough knowledge to run a school anymore. There's too much more involved. When you go to these conferences though, and you sit through session after session, 5 sessions on Friday and 6 sessions on Saturday. And it's 40 minutes of intense information. You just go from class to class. You pull a lot of information out of there, and it's necessary for what goes on in the school district.
Absolutely, and truly the school board could be, NISBA offers many different workshops all over. This is one that is allows us to network with other schools from others around the state. It helps our board keep very current on the latest trends and issues in education. They hear from the top people. This is the one workshop that they do go to instead of a lot of the other little ones. And that way, it is very important for your board to be up to date with their information. We are in a major state of educational reform today with the new Commissioner of Education and with Steiner. And as Joey mentioned, and Ron, with the race to the top, with the new requirements for testing, it's very important, and I have to compliment the board that they do take their time out, because the workshop the conference is on the weekend, which a lot of people like to spend time with their families on the weekend. Many more like to go during the week where you miss work time. The board does take part of their weekend to be able to go down, and it is intense, almost grueling, workshop after workshop after workshop, but it's unfortunate that those who weren't able to attend the 5 o'clock session, because our board spoke very eloquently, and I think you would have been very impressed with the ability that they had to speak on the issues intelligently. And I think it's a great opportunity that the board should be able to go, and hopefully that handout will even give you more specifics.
And you can, like I said, if you have a question, you don't have to wait for a board meeting. If there's issues you're thinking about it and that was presented tonight, or if you have more questions about the presentation, don't be afraid. You can call me at home. I mean, we're here to serve you. We're really here to serve you, and it's a good, challenging question. I mean, we're in an economic downturn right now, so we got to watch our pennies. And actually, we're going to hit an agenda item tonight that we're going to talk about. There's a national convention that's going to be held in San Francisco, and we have a number of board members want to go, but we put a cap on that because of what it costs to get out to San Francisco. So, You know, this one is regional, it was close by, you know, it wasn't expensive to travel down, we took the train tickets like $33, you know, for a one-way trip. And you know, we got an excellent room rate because of the vast number of people that showed up at the Sheridan to log in their room. So, you know, it's this is a good conference. It's, you know, it's one of the best ones that I've seen, and we've gotten a lot out of it, and you know, we hope to share more of it. So, good question. Good question.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to address the board this evening?
I have a question, Barbara Lombard. I understand there was some destruction on school property recently, and I know we had the camera systems. I was just wondering, did those happen to catch? Did they happen to help find out what had happened?
You're right, over the weekend, there was, somebody had took a vehicle onto the soccer field. Thankfully, the damage is something, was not expensive, the amount of damage our maintenance staff will be able to seed and fix. As far as the camera system, of course, as you all know, the camera system is very recent. Our tech person was working on the camera system on Friday because the camera system had reached its full capacity. So the camera system was down, unfortunately, because it had reached its capacity, and he thought he'd be able to fix it on a Friday. It ended up going into the weekend. So no, unfortunately, we didn't get it on camera. The good part was it wasn't extensive amount of damage. And the other good part is that our technology person assured me that now that he's got this piece corrected, that a lot of those files will be archived and we will never max out again. So,
No, it was also, I thought, live monitored through the sheriff's department. They don't have a recording
but it's all
system.
connected here. It's all with
It's
our
the main
server.
link.
We're the main hub here.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you know, but you know, we talked about it. We talked about it tonight in the boardroom.
Yeah.
You know, and Steve made a good comment. You know, eventually the chatter will go, and you know we'll find who to try to destroy our property. So. Anybody else wish to address the board this evening?
I just wanted to make a comment. I'm sorry that I wasn't here at the last board meeting, and I kind of missed the formation of the recess committee.
Can we have your name, please?
You sure can. It's Missy Perrier. No relation to Stephen, or that he's going to claim anyway. But I just want to make a comment as a whole, as being a parent here. My son is in 4th grade. I just want to say that I'm very proud that my son goes here to school. I've had wonderful teachers, you know, all the way up to 4th grade. I'm a freak parent. I obsess about school and who's watching him. And every decision that has been made towards his welfare has been very positive, and his learning has been great. So I just want to say that I think that it's very important when it comes to dealing with recess and the decisions that are going to be made, that we really truly think of the teachers' input here, because they're doing a fantastic job. Like I said, I obsess 2 weeks before school starts. What's going to happen? You know, is he going to be taken care of? And he has been. So I think that the decisions that they make daily about his welfare, you know, just roll over into recess, and don't micromanage that, because they're doing a really good job at what they do.
And you know, we understand that. We truly do. And you know, it's a unique balance in what we do with our teachers and our students. And you know, that balance actually has, you know, 4 or 5 prongs. You know, there's the board, there's the administrators, and the students, or the teachers. You know, then there's actually there's our community. So you know, we're trying to do the right things. And will we succeed every single day doing the right things? No, we won't. No, we won't. The thing to remember, what's important, is that we can learn from our mistakes and take them forward and not let the same mistakes happen again. Then we really truly gain some ground. You know, and if we can move from our mistakes and not get angry at people when we make mistakes, truly we've taken another step forward of doing the right thing for this community and the kids that we represent. It's all about the kids. It's truly all about the kids, and we want to put them first and foremost. And you know, sometimes they get forgotten, and we look at other things that are disrupting our day, or whether it's a contract or whatever it is, this recent incident with a person destroying our school property, our focus gets turned sometimes from one point to another. But we try to ground ourselves and bring us back to square one and say, look, what's important for the kids, and not only for today, but as we're learning for the next 20 some odd years. So, thank you for that comment. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I just think you've done a really good job with your hirings. And like I said, I've been very happy with the teachers that my son has had and the decisions they've made, with him, not just in regards to recess, but, and if there's an issue for them to call me. And I've had a really good relationship with that, and I just think that we should just carry that forward, that if there's decisions to be made, the teachers are the ones that are they're on the line of fire, so.
Yeah, you're an important part of this whole puzzle.
Yep.
You're right.
Thank you.
Anybody else tonight? Just remember, if those of you that come to our board meetings a lot, you have a second crack at it. Okay, so don't think you gotta get all on this first one.
I'll give you 2 chances.
Okay.
I do have one comment, I'm sorry. And I wasn't going to. My name is Mary Rabideau, and I live in Ellingburg, but I work here in this building, and my boys attend next door. I was at a recent staff development day, professional development day, and Mrs. Marlowe challenged all of us, and she said, do you know what the mission statement of our school is? And I'll be honest, I didn't know. But I learned it, and it says that the mission of the Northern Adirondack Central School District, in partnership with family and community, is to educate our students to become lifelong learners and responsible citizens.
You'll get your ticket. You do it.
That's why I learned it.
Then at the board meeting, you get 2.
My question, and it's a rhetorical question. I know that being in this building and working here, we have very limited resources on what we can do to affect a student to become a responsible citizen. And if we don't teach them right from wrong and show them that there are consequences for their actions, and if the only commodity that we have to do that is to say, you need to sit down and think about it for 5 minutes. If that's all that we've got, and truly nagging them doesn't work. I see that every day. You can talk to them till you're blue in the face. It's your actions, and if you show them, if you do this consistently, you're going to lose your playtime. And we're sorry and we feel bad about that. Teaching them to learn what difference between right and wrong will be something that will help them become productive members of society.
Yeah.
Instead of job security for law enforcement. But if we have this influence now when they're little, well, they'll listen to us, then we've done our job. And if not, if we didn't teach them to become responsible citizens, we failed our mission statement.
Yeah. Excellent point. Thank you very much for memorizing your mission statement.
That was impressive.
To the end result, but you bring up a wonderful comment. I'm going to just take a couple minutes, on how we treat our elementary kids and how we treat our middle schoolers and high schoolers are 2 different types of ways how we have to engage with them.
Yes.
I mean, it's 2 different styles of learning. Okay, right? One of the things that we saw at this conference in New York City was that they're taking a different outlook in how they're grading homework assignments, tests, whatever. And this Potsdam school district, they're in their backyard. They've stepped out of the box, looking at new ways of grading their kids. And one of the things that they brought up is that they don't accept zeros anymore. They don't accept the kids saying, "Give me an F, I'll take it." They don't accept that because you know what? It's one of those things to decide that, to your point, when you go out into society and I go work for an employer and I say, "Wait, I want you to go over and sweep that floor." No, I'll take a day off today. It's all about how you get your kids engaged and understanding what's at school actually you're going to face in the real world of work. And when we start making those connections between what we do at school, what we do, we go outside, either we go to college or we don't decide to go to college, that's okay. And we do something else, be an electrician, whatever, carpenter. There are mandates that the employer puts on that employee and what's expected out of them. And to me, there's a balance between what this child learns in the classroom and then what they're going to end up doing as they mature into adults, what they're going to see outside of the classroom. So it's all part of that whole process of understanding the right processes to get our kids engaged in the right behavior. And you know what? It not only comes down to our teachers, but it comes down to the parents as well. So, good, excellent point. Excellent point. Anybody else? You got a second crack, so just, you got something, just hang on to it. Okay. Old business is next on our agenda, and we have one document that we have to approve. It's called Disclosure of Wrongful Conduct. You know, and this document, I took it out specifically to have a little bit of conversation about it. It's about code of conduct. And you know, all of our policies are on the website. Once they're approved, the policies hit the website. Okay. But this one is a little important. And why? Because it talks about what are the right things to do in regards to code of conduct. And you know, it doesn't go into quite high detail about code of conduct, but I just want you to listen to just read this first paragraph. Board of Education expects officers and employees of the district to fulfill the public's trust, and to conduct themselves in an honorable manner, abiding by all district policy regulations and by all applicable state and federal laws and regulations. However, when district officers or employees know or have reasonable cause to believe that certain instances of wrongful conduct have occurred, they should report such wrongful conduct to the superintendent of schools or to us, the board. For the purposes of policy, the term wrongful conduct shall include or defined to include theft of district money, property, resources, misuse of authority for personal gain or other non-district purpose, or fraud, violation of federal and state laws, regulations, and/or serious violation of district policy. Now, what's next about this document too? It has a whistleblower mandate in it, and that's important today because you know what? We want to protect the people that want to step forward and do the right things and saying, hey, look, I know this, but if I say it, what's going to happen to me? Is there going to be any sort of retaliatory conduct? No, there's not going to be. And that's why we have this law now that protects whistleblowers from coming forward and say, look, I think something took place in Brian's office. You know, he's not doing well with how he dispensing money. You know, Paul's going to say, hey, Brian, I want to see ledger 16. I think you got a problem there. So, you know, those are the things that, you know, we want to make sure that we understand fully. And this is an important document. And I just want to mention that why it's so important because we're a whistleblower and what we expect our employees to, when they see something, it's not ethical, we want them to report it. So, enough on my stance on that. I need a motion to accept it.
So moved.
Motion by Dan, seconded by Mike. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, we need to accept the bid for the generator. And what this basically is that we put items out for bid. And this item is for the generator with the fuel tank. And it's been awarded to a town Plattsburgh for $2,550. Oh, Champlain, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, Dan makes a motion to accept the bid. Seconded by Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you for that. The next one is to accept the bid for the lathe to Jerome Taylor for the amount of $117.78. Need a motion for that one. Motion by Ron, seconded by Mike. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you. New business is next on our agenda. The next Board of Education meeting, December 20th. So hopefully by December 20th we'll be moving out of here into the auditorium for 150, 200 people. So we'll see what happens there.
Bring a friend.
Okay, as I discussed earlier in the agenda, we talked about how we send our board members to New York City, and and that's something that we do. We do have a convention that's going to be held in San Francisco. I think it's sometime in April, right? Before April.
Correct.
Yeah, sometime in April. So again, this is and that gets up there in cost because the airfare. Airfare now is not cheap, and so this is where we do put a cap on, watching our dollars and who we send out to these training seminars. And I've been to one, and I'll tell you, it's amazing. I mean, you think you saw it tonight? Those who attended the meeting tonight, where Ron showed up his booklet, well, just times that by 3. I mean, it's like this thick, and you just remember that this is all school boards from across the country attend this one, so that's why you have a lot more classes, a lot more focus on things that are going on.
We do it on a rotating basis, so 2 board members that go this year will be a different 2 next year, so everybody has an opportunity.
Yeah, so we try to share the glory in that.
To attend the nationals.
Right.
Right.
So, I need to announce some nominations in a second, so who would like to attend the 2011 convention? Is going to be held, I think it's on April 11th. Anybody? looking to go there?
Actually, since I thought about it, I don't think it's fair for my term expiring in June. So
Okay, worthy claim, Dan, thank you for that. Greatly appreciate it. Anybody else? Okay,
Somebody
need a nominate?
Nominate
I'll
Mike.
nominate.
Okay, I need a second, please, on that. Seconded by Steve, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained, motion carried. Here, we got one. Anybody else looking to go? I know Ed mentioned it, but he said he had to check his schedule. Right. And he's supposed to be here tonight, and we don't know what happened to Ed, so.
Probably have four.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else?
Anybody else wishing to,
Okay, anybody want to nominate?
Yeah.
So, I got a motion by Mike for Ron, seconded by Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, this next part of our agenda is to approve the establishment of the SAD chapter club for NAC. And it's not students against drunk driving, it's students against destructive decisions. Thank you. And you want to give a little overview of that? Or Mike, you want to give an overview of that?
Yep.
Pass the baton to you on that one.
When I came here last year, it was on the heels of a couple tragedies within the district. And there were some memorial type things that were done for the victims, but there was never anything established in the school for the students to parlay that into what are we going to do for ourselves. I've had some interest from parents, and I've had some interest from students in establishing a chapter. The first step was to get a hold of Frank Mercer from the Clinton County Sheriff Department, set up a meeting with him. We are going to do our application to the National SAD. When we do that, Clinton County will give us $375 for this year, then we'll reapply for, in January, we'll get another $375, we'll start building an account. The end result would be that we would come up with enough money to fund an after-prom party, whether it's this year or the following year, but, and then we'll start generating some activities in the high school for students to get involved in the chapter.
Okay, thank you for that overview. I really appreciate it. So there's not any questions for Mike in regards to any of the SAD
So moved.
club? I'll second. Okay, motion by Dan, seconded by Britt. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you for that. And thanks, Mike, for bringing it forward. Okay, we need to approve the fiscal year 2009-2010 budget amendment resolution as read as follows. Resolve that the expenditures for the change order number 1 on the elementary art and science room alterations in excess of the original appropriation amount are determined to be an ordinary contingent expense. Determination is based on the necessity of the work covered by the change order in order to maintain the educational program that putting the affected classrooms back into its reasonable condition. So be it resolved to amend the fiscal year 2009-10 budget in the amount of $3,000 to appropriate funds for the above referred expenditures. Questions regarding this mandate? If not any questions, any motion to accept? So moved. Motion by Dan. Second, please. Second. Second by Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, now we have to approve the 2009-2010 end of year budget transfers for the attachment. You have that attachment in your packet.
That's your original.
That was the original, then, right? Okay, questions in regards to this amendment proposal? If there are not any questions, need a motion to accept that as motion by Mike, second please.
I'll second.
Second by Rick, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, we have 3 individuals that put forward a tax correction for their enhanced star, right? Is that what it is?
Correct.
Right. Right, and the first one is actually my dad's, so I got abstained from this one from voting, but it's to approve the real property tax corrections because they didn't get their star exemption. So approve the real property tax correction for 2010-2011 school taxes. The first one is up is for Randy Barron, and he's abstained from that one. Please, I need a motion. A motion by Mike, seconded by Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I'm abstaining. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, the second one is for Loretta Donovan, and you have the amount in front of you. Actually, let me step back 1 second. For my dad, Bree Barron, the corrected amount was $1,057.50. For Loretta Donovan, the corrected amount is $424.91. I need a motion to accept the change amount for Loretta Donovan. So, motion by Ron, second please.
I'll second.
Seconded by Rick, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you for that one. And then the third one this evening is Doug and Glenn Baker for the amount of $225.97. If there's any questions for that, I need a motion for that one as well. So move. Motion by Dan, seconded by Rick. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next order in our agenda tonight is the resignations. And so, in front of you this evening, you have resignations, I believe, A through E. Okay, so if there's not any questions, let me throw one thing out, because I know there was a question on this earlier from, not in the meeting, but earlier to me, is that, there's a resignation for Brian Tusino. It's not because Brian's leaving as a business manager, because of the new issues that we're dealing with the capital expenditures and some of the legal mandates that we're under for compliance issues pertaining to how we expense money. Brian is going to be stepping down basically as a district treasurer. We're going to appoint a new district treasurer. So Brian's not leaving us. He's just going to assume more of the responsibilities as a business manager. Okay. So A through E, if there's not any issues or concerns with the resignations that are in front of you, I need a motion to accept as they're presented to you. Rick, you got to abstain on one? On which one?
B.
B?
Yeah.
All right, so Helen, please know that Rick's going to abstain from B. Anybody else need to abstain on any of these? Okay, so I need a motion to accept for the exception. Okay, motion made by Steve, seconded by Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we have one abstain on B from Rick. Thank you. Okay, personnel appointments. As you can see in front of you, you have A through H. And as you see in the bottom, just want to let everybody know that Sarah Watts is going to be our new district treasurer. And she'll be handling a lot of issues that Brian has basically about. And then, it's one of those things, again, this was questioned from the outside, why are we doing that? And, we're one of the very few school districts that do not have a district treasurer. And, and there's a lot of things that in regards to compliance, again, and how we fill out reports on a timely basis. And if we don't fill it on a timely basis, we get fined for that, And basically, who it comes to is that woman right there, And so we don't want anything coming to her, or the next thing I'm involved in as well. So, it's just a good decision that we're making, and is there a little money spending? Yes, there is, but it solidifies the financial position of the school and where it needs to go for the future. It really is a good decision.
And we'll be hiring a payroll. We'll be advertising.
Okay, so after my explanation, are there any issues in regards to A through H? Anybody have to abstain first on A through H? No? Nobody? Okay, so I need a motion to accept.
So moved.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Rick. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And no abstain. Thank you very much for that.
Congratulations, Sarah.
Yeah, congratulations. Okay, so now here's your second crack at it. This is your second. Here's public comment number 2, just number 2. So, yes, Paul.
The question came up when they were going through the Excel program. Why do they drop off the high school first and then come back around for the grade school? Buses come in, come through, they're going through this new parking lot they're building, drop off at the high school first, and then come back across traffic and drop off at
Not
the school. Why?
the high schoolers do get off first, but not all the buses get here at the same time. So you've got little kids, wandering into the building. So they wait until all the buses are here, they're lined up, and they let the kids out at once. Where the high schoolers are old enough that they can walk in.
You're saying our day here at the grade school starts at 8 o'clock, and over there it starts at 10 of 8? Something to that effect, is that what you're saying?
Yes, it starts at 7:55 at the high school.
I'm just remembering it from how it was when I went
The
through.
elementary.
I guess it's still that way.
Okay.
Did that answer your question, Paul?
No, but it's understand work here. Okay.
Well, we should answer your question.
Yeah, I don't-
What part of it is gonna-
Safety wise, why are we having busloads of kids going across traffic? They're coming in, going through this new parking lot that's gonna be built, going all the way over to the high school, dropping off to high school,
And then swinging back
and then
around.
swinging back through all the teachers, all students traveling in, back across that line of traffic again to let the grade school,
We can certainly take a look at that.
you know?
Okay.
Why, if one started at 7, why can't we all start at 8 o'clock?
Buses coming in, that's-
Bus pulls in here, the grade school, kids get off, and then the bus parks here over to high school. Until it's done.
It's a good question.
I don't know, it's a safety issue, right?
Yeah, good question.
We'll look at it. Thank you.
Thanks for bringing that forward. That's what it's all about there. Anybody else want to discuss this tonight?
Well, I've got something this morning for you guys.
Go ahead.
Dan K, line 9. Like I said, when we were in New York, I really wanted to go to San Francisco, but like I said, I didn't think it was fair. I do still want to go, so in researching it, my wife and I, we had a week in San Francisco, flight, the hotel, and rental car, $1,000. So you might not want to go for the 2 work home.
Before I move on, anything else? Yes.
I'm going to miss Mr. Tusigna. Will he be out of the line of fire, and then Sarah's gonna be up there,
Brian is still
There's still going to be a shadow there. You'll see that shadow.
Poor Sarah.
Okay, anybody else? Again, closing session for public comment. Yes.
Joey, just a quick offer, Calvin Castine, Hometown Cable. You said you'd like to get to the public more. I have 2 websites that we use. This video will be up there within 24 hours. If you have a student or a parent or whatever who would like to videotape your meetings, be more than happy to put them on our websites, Plattsburgh.com, HometownCableNetwork.com, and send you the link. You can have them on your website too.
Thank you for that offer.
So
Appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for coming tonight, by the way, too.
This was a good one.
I've done 26 events in the first 13 days of the month, and today I didn't have anything to do, so don't count and see me again at a meeting.
I'm glad we were one of your afterthoughts. That's very good. So how do you think it went?
Went good.
Thank you.
Okay, there's really not anything that we need to discuss in the board in the executive session, so
Motion to adjourn.
Dan sometimes interjects before I get to the rest of what I gotta say. Made a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Dan,
I'll second.
seconded by Mike, all in favor? Opposed? Abstained, motion carries. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, enjoy your
Thank
evening,
you.
and drive home safely.